you are all mothers. You all have multiple children, let's say, of different multiple children of different ages, ranging from your youngest is 1, going all the way up until 21, I believe. One of the questions that came in actually is, how do you manage motherhood and the position that you have? Whoever would like to answer that.
So I have 4. Oldest is 21, the youngest is 10. And I must say is that I just started my position within Atos. I'm not that long in the company again. I worked for Capgemini and then I transferred into Atos. But you know, children grow up. So they get born and then the first 10 years, they are the hardest, basically. So so the thing is, it's, yes, I'm a mother, but it's parenthood because my husband is there as well. And when we decided to have children, we had an agreement that we will do everything together. So although he was a senior executive in the financial industry, I told him you have to bring the kids to school every morning and make their bread and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something about having good arrangements. And sometimes things go wrong. And you have to be okay with that. And it works. So yeah, my children are still very happy to have us as parents. And
That's a good sign.
Yeah. They're glad to join us for Christmas, which is a good thing as well. But you know, I know that your children are younger, and I must honestly say is that, you know, there's not one recipe for it. And because my youngest is now 10, he's able to control a phone, which makes my life so much easier. Yeah, it's different phases. So.
Yeah, I've been wondering how to answer this question, but in my world it was quite binary because it was I was 24/7 working on my company until I sold the company, and then I had my time off basically. So I did not find a good answer to a work-life balance when I was running my company. I seriously did not. So I had an agreement with my investors that on Wednesday I would try to be home with the kids, and I fought for that like a lion because I also had U.S. People in my board. They really don't understand. Their question is, seriously, is she more engaged in her motherhood or is she more engaged into the company? Wow. But literally these 8 hours a week was the only 8 hours that I would really dedicate to my kids, because weekends I would be traveling around the world. I would go to all these congresses. And these 8 hours, if I could just keep it free in my agenda, I really fought for that. And but the time goes so fast, and the kids grow up so fast. And I really realized that when we got the offer of Philips, I thought, okay, if I want to see my kids grow up, so my youngest is almost 2, so she was born right in the middle of the acquisition, which was hectic as you can, literally crazy. And this is the time that I need to sort of step out, and so now I'm doing the other side, so the binary, the other side, which is really nice because now I get to have like normal time with the kids, and I really enjoy that. But I did not find an answer, and so if anybody has the answer, I'm really happy to hear that.
Well, I don't think I can give you that answer either. And like you said, I don't think there's one recipe for everyone, because it's all up to your own needs and your own setup. I have a son of 17 and a daughter of 15. And yeah, honestly, I think it's always a challenge. And I have a 3-year-old dog, who's actually even more of a challenge, I think. But the way I solve it, when they were young, we were able to have someone living in our house with us who actually supported me. I was first a freelancer for 15 years. I used to do projects for different companies. And what I still think, and I know it's very stereotype, but that our way of working in the Netherlands is not set up yet for full-time working parents. For me, when I was working as a freelancer, I didn't want to say no to my clients. So actually, when my daughter was 2 weeks old, I got a new project, and I thought, yeah, I'm just going to do it. But I'm not going to tell anyone I just gave birth 2 weeks ago, because they won't allow me to work, or they will think it's strange. Yeah. And honestly, for me, but I can be also very practical, I just balanced it in a way, and I was very happy that this wonderful woman was taking over my place to take care of my young daughter, and we still have a very close bond with her. So that was my solution at that time, and now they're older. It's indeed a little bit more easier, but for me it's still important. My kids play hockey, to be there at the hockey field. But I also don't mind working on Sundays or in the evening, or my husband and I drink a glass of wine in bed and we both work on our laptops. For us, that's a way of living, and we don't mind working like that. So that's my solution to the way of balancing work and life.
And actually, I'll be very honest, we've gotten quite a few questions in about, because this is just one of the questions that I saw come up, but also why men actually don't get asked that question about parenthood.
Yeah, exactly.
It always seems to be, and obviously I didn't want to insult anyone, this question, but it always seems to be women that gets asked this question.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think you can approach it from a negative position, or also see that there is a need apparently for people, for men and women, to find that solution. I think because the solution is not in place, people are just wondering, because even, I mean, I've been doing this now for 17 years, but I don't know if we really, touched on that subject in detail, but I'm still always intrigued how other parents or families solve that, like this week I'm not home any of the nights. Meanwhile, I get a notification from the Housework Institute, oh, your daughter this and that, and then I'm like, oh, shall I feel guilty? I'm like, no, but I think because they're asking women, because we still are intrigued, I think, because it's not a matter of lifestyle yet.
If you like this episode, you can check out our most recent one here, and if you haven't already, make sure you click here to subscribe and see the next one. But if you're interested in more tips and tricks, then make sure to join our Facebook group, where you can find thousands of like-minded people and you get direct access and support to any business question from the entire startup funding event team.